The desert wind howled. It whispered secrets through the ancient ruins. These ruins had once been a magnificent city. Now they were home only to shadows and dust. A lone figure stood among the crumbling stones. He wore a dark cloak that hid his face. The figure held a lamp. Its flickering light danced across the weathered carvings on the walls. He was searching for something ancient and powerful. He muttered words under his breath. They were not words of any language known to man. Suddenly the ground trembled. The lamp sputtered and died, plunging the ruins into darkness. The figure froze, listening. A deep rumbling echoed from the heart of the ruins. Something was awakening. A cold wind swirled around the figure, biting at his cloak. He felt a presence. It was old and powerful. Fear, sharp and cold, gripped his heart. He was no longer alone. Far to the east, beyond the endless dunes of the whispering desert, lay 3 kingdoms. Each was as different from the others as day from night. To the north was the Iron Kingdom. Its people were renowned for their skill in forging weapons and armor. Their cities were fortresses, built of black iron and stone. The Iron King, Magnus, was a giant of a man. He ruled with an iron fist, just as his ancestors had done for generations. Magnus trusted no one. He relied only on his strength and his iron will. To the south lay the Azure Kingdom. Its people were known for their wisdom and love of knowledge. Their cities were marvels of architecture, filled with libraries and academies. The Azure Queen, Seraphina, was a wise and just ruler. She valued knowledge above all else. East of the Azure Kingdom, bordering the Whispering Desert, was the Golden Kingdom. Its people were famed for their wealth and love of luxury. Their cities shimmered under the desert sun. Palaces of gold and marble stood as a testament to their opulence. The Golden Sultan, Rashid, was a shrewd and cunning ruler. He craved power above all else. For generations, the 3 kingdoms had maintained an uneasy peace. Now, however, that peace was crumbling faster than the ancient ruins in the desert. The Iron Kingdom, fueled by Magnus's ambition, had begun to expand its borders. Its armies, clad in iron from head to toe, marched south, conquering everything in their path. Fear spread through the Azure Kingdom like wildfire. Queen Seraphina knew she had to act. Her armies were small but well-trained. They would not be enough to stop Magnus's might. She sent envoys west to the Golden Kingdom, seeking an alliance. Sultan Rashid listened to the Azure Queen's plea with a sly smile playing on his lips. He knew that war was coming. He had been waiting for this moment. The Sultan saw a chance not just to protect his own kingdom, but to expand his power. He agreed to an alliance with the Azure Kingdom. In the heart of the desert, the lone figure felt the earth tremble once more. He knew the cause. The kingdoms were marching towards war. His hands clenched into fists. He had to reach them, warn them. The fate of the world depended on it. Unbeknownst to the kingdoms, a hidden power was watching, waiting. Deep beneath the sands of the Whispering Desert, in a city of shimmering crystal and fire, lived the Jinn. The Jinn were not creatures of good or evil. They were creatures of power, their actions driven by ancient pacts and their own mysterious desires. The most powerful of the Jinn was Kaelin. She had watched the kingdoms for centuries, her anger growing with each passing year. She had seen their greed, their lust for power, and the wars they waged against each other. The awakening in the ruins had not gone unnoticed. Kaelin felt it, a tremor in the fabric of her world. She knew the time had come for the Jinn to intervene. Kaelin summoned her most trusted advisors, 5 Jinn who commanded the elements fire, water, earth, air, and shadow. Together they would decide the fate of the kingdoms, the fate of the world. News of the alliance between the Azure and Golden Kingdoms reached King Magnus. He slammed his fist on his throne, his face contorted with rage. He had underestimated his enemies. He had expected them to cower, not to unite, but Magnus was not easily deterred. He knew that the Azure Kingdom was renowned for its knowledge, for its ancient libraries filled with forgotten lore. He needed that knowledge, that power. He dispatched his most trusted advisor, a cunning sorcerer named Malkor, to infiltrate the Azure Kingdom. Malkor, with his silver tongue and his mastery of illusions, posed as a scholar seeking refuge from the coming war. Queen Seraphina, ever a patron of knowledge, welcomed him with open arms. Malcor, however, served a different master. He was a viper in the heart of the Azure Kingdom, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Unbeknownst to both Magnus and Seraphina, Sultan Rashid was playing his own game of treachery. He had no intention of honouring his alliance with the Azure Kingdom. He saw the coming war as an opportunity to seize even more power for himself. The armies clashed on the whispering sands, a sea of steel and fury under the scorching desert sun. The Iron Legion, clad in black iron, fought with savage fury. They were a force of nature, unstoppable. The Azure Knights, though outnumbered, fought with courage and discipline. Their formations held strong, their swords flashing in the sunlight. But the Golden Legion, resplendent in their gold and turquoise armor, held back. Sultan Rashid had positioned his army on a ridge overlooking the battlefield. He watched the battle unfold below, a cruel smile on his lips. He would wait for the perfect moment, the moment when both armies were spent, and then he would strike. As the sun began to set, casting long shadows across the blood-soaked sands, the tide of the battle began to turn. The Iron Legion was relentless, their advance seemingly unstoppable. The Azure lines wavered on the verge of breaking. Despair gripped the hearts of Queen Seraphina's warriors. They had fought bravely, but they were outnumbered.